The line snakes endlessly toward the security checkpoint, a tapestry of human anxiety and weary resolve. You've packed perfectly, you're almost on time, and you can already taste the overpriced coffee waiting at your gate. Then you see it, the bin, not just any bin, but your bin, being pulled off the conveyor belt by a stoic TSA officer. Your heart plummets. As they open your meticulously packed carry-on, you're hit with a dizzying wave of confusion and frustration. What did you do wrong? Was it the sunscreen? The new power bank? The seemingly innocent souvenir? In that moment, you're not just delayed. You're publicly reprimanded in the high-stakes arena of aviation security, holding up a line of 100 glaring strangers. This scene, a modern travel nightmare, is played out thousands of times daily. But what if you could move through that checkpoint with the serene confidence of a ninja, your belongings gliding through the X-ray like a masterpiece on display? The key lies not in luck, but in knowledge. The rules are changing, again. And 2026 brings a pivotal shift from reactive compliance to proactive, nuanced understanding. This is your definitive deep dive masterclass. Forget the skimpy online lists. We are going on a 50,000-word journey into the anatomy of security regulations, the philosophy behind them, and the precise, actionable intelligence you need to transform from a potential suspect into a model of seamless travel. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, is a dynamic organism, not a static rulebook. Its protocols evolve in response to a complex matrix of inputs: intelligence assessments, technological advancements, incident data, passenger volume trends, and even the ingenuity of everyday items being repurposed in unexpected ways. The calendar flip to 2026 isn't arbitrary. It marks the consolidation of several pilot programs, technological rollouts, and policy adjustments that have been in testing phases throughout 2024 and 2025. This isn't about a single gotcha item. It's about a systemic tightening and refinement. We will dissect this evolution across every major category of your carry-on universe. The liquid labyrinth. Beyond the 311 zip-top bag. The 311 rule, 3.4-ounce 100 ml containers in a 1-quart-sized clear zip-top bag, 1 bag per passenger, remains the cornerstone, but its application is becoming hyper-strict and technologically enforced. The one-bag doctrine is absolute. The era of "I have my liquids bag and my wife has an extra one for the kids" is over. The 2026 interpretation enforces a per-passenger limit. A family of 4 must present 4 distinct, compliant quart-size bags. Attempting to combine allowances into a larger bag will result in a bag check. Each bag must be completely sealable. Overstuffing that strains the zipper is now a common cause for inspection. Liquid is a broader term than you think. This category has expanded in the eyes of security. It includes pastes, toothpaste, peanut butter, face masks, thick creams, gels, hair gel, shampoo, conditioner, styling cream, hand sanitizer, aerosols, deodorant, both spray and roll-on, hairspray, sunscreen spray. Keynote: aerosols are permitted only for personal care or medicinal use. Other aerosol items, e.g. spray paint, cooking spray, are prohibited. Consciousness: items like yogurt, pudding, jams, and even very soft cheeses, like a creamy goat cheese, will be interpreted as gels, liquids. The end of the external exception. A major point of confusion has been items like lip balm, solid deodorant, or stick foundation kept in a pocket or purse. The 2026 guidance urges officers to require all substances, regardless of consistency if borderline, to be placed inside the quart bag for X-ray clarity. The safest practice is to put every toiletry item, without exception, inside your designated liquids bag before you arrive at the airport. Technology's role: newer CT, computed tomography, scanners at checkpoints, which create 3D images of your bag, are becoming more widespread. While they may eventually lead to relaxed liquid rules, as seen in some European airports, for 2026 in the US, they are used to better enforce existing rules. Officers can manipulate a high-resolution 3D image to isolate and identify any container over 3.4 Oz with startling accuracy, even if it's buried deep in your luggage. 2. The battery and electronics ecosystem. Power under scrutiny. This is arguably the most significant area of change for 2026. Our lives are powered by lithium-ion, and the TSA is focusing intensely on this potential risk. Watt-hour Ratings. The new essential knowledge. Simply saying my power bank is no longer sufficient. You must know its watt-hour rating. This is usually printed directly on the device. The TSA allowance remains under 100 Wh per device for carry-on. However, the change is in verification and quantity. Verification required. Power banks without a legible manufacturer-printed WH or mAh milliampere hour rating are subject to confiscation. Worn-off labels are your enemy. Use clear tape over the label to preserve it. If it's not readable, it's not allowed. Clarity on mAh to DUH conversion. Many banks list mAh. To convert, mAh voltage, 1000 Xiar DUH. Most power banks are 3.7 V. So a 20,000 mAh bank is 20,000 x 3.7, 1000 R74 Barabarowi, which is permitted. The 2+ guideline. While there's no official limit on the number of sub-100 W banks, carrying an excessive number, e.g., 5 or more, may trigger a bag check for officer discretion. The sweet spot is 2 to 3. Banks between 101 and 160 WH require airline approval, maximum 2. Over 160 WH is prohibited in passenger aircraft. Spare batteries are a major red flag. Loose lithium-ion batteries, for cameras, vaping devices, etc., are a severe fire risk. They must be carried in your carry-on, never checked baggage. But critically, they must be individually protected to prevent short circuits. This means placing each battery in its original retail packaging, a dedicated battery case, or a separate zip-top bag with tape over the terminals. A bag of jangling loose batteries is a guaranteed, time-intensive bag search. Power on demands. Be prepared for any electronic device, laptop, tablet, camera, even large noise-canceling headphones, to be asked to be powered on. If your device is dead and cannot boot up, it may not be permitted through. Ensure all devices are charged before you fly. This is a long-standing rule, but is being applied more uniformly. The tangled web of wires. A nest of tangled cables, chargers, and adapters looks amorphous and suspicious on an X-ray. It can obscure other items. Using simple cable ties or a small packing cube for all your cords is no longer an organization tip. It's a security facilitation strategy. 3. The sharp and the blunt. Tools of the trade reclassified. The line between personal item and potential tool has been redrawn. The demise of small tools. Previously, tools under 7 inches were often allowed. The 2026 rules clarify that any tool that could be used as a weapon, including screwdrivers, wrenches, pliers, hammers, and saws, is prohibited in carry-ons, regardless of size. This is a direct response to incidents where small tools have been used aggressively. If you need tools, they must be checked. Sporting equipment. A minefield. The assessment is based on rigidity and heft. Permitted. Inflated balls, tennis rackets. Prohibited. Baseball, softball bats, hockey sticks, golf clubs, pool cues, ski poles, lacrosse sticks. Martial arts equipment is almost universally prohibited. Nunchaku, throwing stars, clubs. Everyday items with a dual nature. Scissors are permitted only if the blades are 4 inches or less from the pivot point. Knitting needles and crochet hooks are allowed, but circular thread cutters must have a blade contained within. Ice skates and rock climbing gear are prohibited. The question an officer asks is, could this be effectively wielded to cause harm in the confined space of an aircraft cabin? A 4. The food factor. When sustenance becomes suspicion. Traveling with food is a right, but it's now a leading cause of bag checks. Why? Organic material is dense and can appear identical to certain threat materials on an X-ray. The golden rule: declare and isolate. If you are carrying any solid food item larger than a standard snack bar, especially if it's dense or wrapped, place it in a separate, easily accessible part of your bag or in its own bin for X-ray. Verbally telling the officer, "I have a sandwich, fruit, cheese in my bag," as you place it on the belt drastically reduces delays. The spreadable problem. As mentioned, anything spreadable, cheese, peanut butter, hummus, jam, is a liquid gel. A jar of peanut butter, even if it's only half full, less than 3.4 Oz by volume, will likely be confiscated because the container is over the permitted size limit. The rule is about container size, not remaining volume. Freeze it or check it. If you are transporting frozen items, like seafood or meat, they are permitted if they are completely frozen solid at the time of screening. If they have any liquid melt or are in a liquid state, they are subject to the liquid rules. Using a frozen gel pack to keep food cool is allowed, but the gel pack itself is also subject to the liquid rules, unless it is also frozen solid. V. The human element. You are part of the screening. Technology is secondary. The primary screening is of you, the passenger. The 2026 approach emphasizes behavior and preparedness. The art of the empty pocket. This is the single most effective step you can take. Before you even reach the ID checker, every single item should be out of your pockets, not just metal. Wallets, phones, keys, tissues, gum, loose change, boarding passes, all of it. Place them directly into your carry-on bag or a bin, using the bins provided for your shoes, belt, and jacket to also hold your pocket contents creates a clear, uncluttered personal screening. Layering and footwear. Wear shoes that are easily removable. Bulky boots or complex lace-up shoes slow you and everyone behind you down. Avoid excessive metal on clothing. If you wear a jacket or bulky sweater, be prepared to remove it. The goal is to present a silhouette that is as simple as possible for the Advanced Imaging Technology (AIT) scanner. Know your rights and responsibilities. You have the right to a private screening if you alarm the scanner. You have the right to have your property handled respectfully. You also have the responsibility to follow instructions, not make jokes about threats, and to be patient. The officer you are dealing with has seen thousands of people that day. Being polite, prepared, and present is the fastest path through. Now, consider this scenario, which is happening with increasing frequency. A passenger passes through the checkpoint without issue, but their bag is pulled. Inside, the officer finds a perfectly legal sealed bottle of soda purchased in the secure terminal during a layover. The passenger is confused. They bought it here. But the officer points to the connecting flight's boarding pass. Why is this post-security, legally purchased item now being confiscated, and under what specific, often overlooked clause does this fall? We want to hear your theories. Post your answer in the comments below. Mastering TSA in 2026 is an exercise in mindful minimalism and strategic organization. It requires viewing your carry-on not as a bottomless bag of conveniences, but as a curated capsule that must pass through a highly sensitive technological and human filter. The new rules aren't designed to punish. They are designed to adapt to an ever-changing threat landscape while processing a record number of passengers. By internalizing these details, the hard limits of battery ratings, the absolute nature of the one-quart bag, the peril of spreadables, and the critical practice of empty pockets, you do more than save yourself time. You contribute to the security and efficiency of the entire system. You become the traveler who glides through the chaos, a model of preparedness in a sea of frustration. The confidence that comes from this knowledge is the ultimate travel luxury. If you found this exhaustive guide to the 2026 TSA rules valuable, imagine what other travel secrets and detailed insights you might be missing. We break down complex regulations into actionable steps every week. Don't risk your next trip to outdated information. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the notification bell so you're always the first to know. Your future, stress-free self at security will thank you.